Hello, Hereteks, and this is the Warp Forge with a return to Gotham City. Now, we all know how much I love the Batman Miniatures game. It's been killing me on the inside how much I wanted to do battle reports but couldn't. Oh boy. Honestly, right now I'm just so happy I can do Batman. Oh, so what's been going on? Second edition hit. Second edition definitely hit, and it hit my lists hard with the new releases. And I'm not saying there's power creep, there just became a lot more variety that I wanted to explore in my gangs. So, as you can see, we have a lot of miniatures here. What's happening here? What is the magical artifact that's happening here? Well, I'll tell you. So, Hatter got lumped into organised crime, didn't he? So, what does that mean? Well, I get all the henchmen, along with Two-Face's henchmen, because he was lumped in with organised crime. As well as LexCorp, because they got lumped in with organised crime. As well as, obviously, Falcone, Maroni and Black Mask. So I got a lot more variety. So what did I pick? Well, I saw the medium armour, and you know, I am, you don't understand, Skylar, I am the degenerative player. Even though that's not the correct pronunciation. Oh well, you get the picture. Ta-da! So, currently, I'm painting them up as the Queen of Hearts Royal Guard, because that's perfectly fitting in with Hatter's theme. As well as I'm making the chessboard, the weird chessboard bases. So obviously they're going to look like they're part of the Wonderland gang. So yeah, these guys in power armour essentially are going to be thrown in the dogs. Thrown in the dogs with stuff. Speaking of dogs, as you can see, there's Bud and Lou, and I'm very looking forward to throwing them down in a Joker gang, because, let's be honest, it's Bud and Lou. I want to get the new Joker set now because I got Bud and Lou, and I want to get the Gotham City Sirens because of the new Harley. I think those would be absolutely hilarious to play around with, if I'm honest. I really want to do it for absolute fun. Yeah, so they came with Rebirth Harley, as you can see. Now, I'm going to do not separate video, but separate cut, where I'll show Rebirth Harley, because I actually want to show how much Knight's models have improved with resin. As you can see, there's also two other special guests. Does this mean we could see Batman? Doesn't mean any Batman, it means a variety of Batman. Because a lot of people like to just take sidekicks or like to play around with Constantine and not have Batman lead a crew, and that makes me sad. So let's have Batman back. Not just any Batman, let's have the the brutal Batmans. The brutal Batmans, that sounds so mainstream, sorry. But yeah, as you can see, we have Thomas Wayne, and we have Azrael, or Jean-Paul Valley, as Nightfall Batman, and Flashpoint Paradox Batman. Now, what's the story behind these guys? Because, whoa, there's two separate Batmans, and it's not Bruce Wayne. What's happening here? This guy is Bruce Wayne's dad. It's Thomas Wayne, donning the bat symbol. Why does he the bat symbol? Because Flash essentially fucked up the timeline, and because of that, Bruce died instead of his parents. His dad became Batman, as you can see here, and his mum became Joker. Yeah, very interesting chemistry there. Very interesting twist of narrative events. Yeah, thanks Flash, you fucked the timeline again. Now, who's Nightfall Batman? Or why has Azrael got the Batsuit? Azrael got the Batsuit because after the first events with his first encounter with Bane, where he broke the Bat's back, he needed a Batman to cover for him as he got better. To get well soon, so get well soon cards out, folks, you know, ta-da. So, Azrael dons the Batsuit, and he is absolutely bloodthirsty and brutal, as Azrael is. So yeah, and there's a whole adventure, there's a whole massive arc about it, where he dons the Batsuit and goes around, not killing, but pretty much brutalising the Arkhamites close to death, basically, because it's Azrael, and Azrael's being Batman. So yeah. So, without further ado, I'm just going to make some close-up pictures just to show you off some of the sculpts. Okay, Gothamites. So, first one I wanted to show off is Harley Quinn. I want to show off Harley Quinn because this is a rebirth variant and she is special just to show off how detailed and how much they've progressed as a sculpt for the sculpts. Now, obviously, people know the metals. The metals are quite nice. Sometimes you often got a miscast or some very soft flash and stuff. This exists very little in the new resins. I had a little bit of... The only issue I could say for new resins is that, obviously, resin being brittle, it's one of those types of resins, so not much chance, unless you're very good with your hands and very good with your mind, of how to, like, twist and bend very brittle resin to your advantage. Not much room for conversion possibilities. But, as you can see here, Bud and Lou were in 3 parts, 2 halves of their bodies and a head. They've came out very nice, I feel. But Harley, to me, is the main attraction. Absolutely 110% the main attraction. Why is she the main attraction? Well, as I'm going to zoom in and show you a little bit closer. This model is one piece. She's literally one piece. Which is amazing. Because people who know Knight's models before know that in other versions of Harley, her hair used to be, some of her hair used to be separate. You had to glue on the head. You sometimes had to glue on really spindly arms and stuff like that. It was an absolute nightmare to build up. But that's because the nature of Harley being very, very thin and skinny. As you can see, shaking that ass. But just to have her as one piece. Now, again, very little room for conversion possibility unless you're really, really good, like you're a neurosurgeon with your hands or something like that. Very little conversion possibility. But she's gone in my Wonderland gang because this Harley is a free agent to anyone, including good guys. So Batman can ally herself with Harley Quinn. And Bud and Lou have the affinity to Harley Quinn, so they can travel around with Harley. So essentially you could have Batman alongside Harley Quinn with Bud and Lou, just for fun. But yeah, again, this is just one piece. This is one piece, folks. I was very careful with the tab to cut it off because they all have tabs, just to glue on a special base because she's a special character and she deserves a special base like that. That mallet is fantastic. Again, she's just one piece, guys. There's no construction required. Essentially, if you're just going to glue her to the base she comes supplied with, you just put in the tab, then cover the tab up with some like Citadel texture or some sand or something, and it's as simple as that. That's very minimal construction. So I have to give a well done and a round of applause to Knight's models. And this isn't meant to be a sarcastic clap, but yeah, you get the picture. It's a very, 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 very good sculpt. It's a very, very nice sculpt, and it's just so easy. It's just so easy to assemble because it's one piece. I can't stress that enough. That's fantastic. This is the progress. The detail is crisp. The detail is there. I can't stress that enough. It's beautiful. They've absolutely leaped from the metals when they've introduced this resin. Absolutely. So I'm going to show off a few more exclusives because I'm show off like that, and that'll be roughly the video. So, on to the next miniatures. Okay, so Flashpoint Batman. This is an exclusive miniature. You can't get this outside of special deals that Knight's models put on sometimes. They'll say if you buy over 100 quid from them, you get this free miniature, has its own exclusive rules, etc, etc, etc. I won't go into too much detail about the rules of him. Essentially, he's a harder Red Hood without the takedown trait. Instead, he gets medic because Thomas Wayne was a doctor. He is very, very good for what he does. If you combine him with Red Hood, you just spray and pray twice over within 2 turns. Get a load of people on 1 point of get a load of henchmen on 1 point of endurance. Then you get Red Hood, spray and pray with Red Hood, and because Red Hood's got a takedown trait, that essentially means for a special counter you can cause instant death to people who are knocked out. So you spray and pray twice. You should lead into either mid or late game. Red Hood ends it with just takedown. Obviously, there are variables involved like ping rolls, which essentially cover saves, etc, etc. But in theory, that's how it works with Red Hood. You just want to take them both for gun maximization. and leave your troops to do whatever they please, essentially. So yeah. He's also a medic and with a back claw, so he can literally get anywhere. If a guy gets injured and you really need him on that objective, back claw away, heal that guy up, have some fun, guys, you know? So yeah, this guy is very nice. Again, I didn't paint it like this. It came on a separate base, which I clipped off. He had a tactical rock on the foot that's stepping onto the pavement. I cut that off in bits. Because again, it's brittle resin, I'm being very careful with this model because I want this model to look like a centerpiece model because it's exclusive and it looks fantastic. I didn't strip him because I don't know how to strip models, but I'm just going to give it a very, very light undercoat of black. Do the model. Do the model. So as you can see, it's not the best quality of paint job, but as you can see, the detail is there. And it looks amazing, absolutely amazing. If anybody would like to show how to, or want to tell me how to strip resin, then please put a comment down in the comment section. I'm more than happy to listen before I paint this guy up, because I just have that really I have that Titanic ship sinking feeling that I'm going to put a light layer of undercoat over him, and he's just going to block out all detail, and he's going to look like a HeroClix mini. Not the best, I admit, you know. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with this purchase. So how did I get this mini? Because I didn't spend over 100 quid from Nice Models. My friend got a spare one through a job lot and said, do you want this? For this price, I'll have it. Got it. Very happy. I'm looking forward so much to playing with this guy and showing you guys Battle Reports of the Brave and Bold, as it's now called. Like organised crime, conglomerated a lot of the good guy crews, if not all of them, outside of Amazons, into one gang. So Green Arrow, The Law, and Batman are all in one gang. So yeah, on to the other Batman. Okay, so Asbats. Now, this model you can get, but it's only exclusive as the Arkham Legends range through Knights Models. So bear that in mind. But it's a fun model. It's a very aggressive. While Flashpoint Batman is very aggressive on the guns and the shooting, he's very aggressive on the close combat. He'll just go there. He won't give a crap because he's got some of the best armor in the game, being medium armor, which I'll probably talk about in a future video, probably in the Mr. Freeze Tactica, because I think I'm so close to clicking him and finding out what's perfect for him. Absolutely 210%, especially with the buff to medium armor. But outside of me fanboying over Mr. Freeze, let's get back to Asbats. So, one of the best armor in the game. He'll get in, he'll punch face. No, he won't even just punch face. He'll punch face, knock it out, then rip the throats out. That's how savage Asbats is, as people have nicknamed him. He is an absolute savage, and I'm glad I put him on a special resin base. All these bases, all the resin bases that you see come from Fenris Games. Take a little while to get the bases, but especially for Batman, they're totally worth it. Absolutely fantastic. I got no problems with them. I love the bases they do, which is why I just buy straight from them for Batman Miniatures game, because there's just nothing nicer than to see like your heroes in a street just whacking it out. So yeah, as you can see, Batman. I'm not sure what that is. That's probably just resin, as you can see. Huh, interesting. Not sure what that is, but there we go. It looks like stressed resin. Not sure how it's stressed. But yeah, again, this miniature required a bit of building. It needed to put the arms in place, but the arms weren't that bad, and because obviously with the new crispness of the new resins, it wasn't that hard to put together. You did have pegging holes, and you had to file the pegs a little bit because they were still a little bit oversized, but outside of that, you glued them in place fine. He also has a flamethrower, so go figure, if he needs to shoot things, he's going to set things alight. Mr. Freeze's biggest weakness. So yeah, I'm looking forward to throwing him down for a bit of fun in games. But I'm really looking forward to just getting Arkham Knight Red Hood and Flashpoint Batman on the board, just spraying and praying. I also want to get the starter sets for both the new starter sets for Joker and Batman, because I love the Arkham guards. I love the look of them. Love the riot shotgun because he just looks like fun, and the assault rifle's an assault rifle. Can't go wrong with that. And Joker looks fantastic, and his henchman in the trench coat called Whiteface, he looks fantastic and fun as anything to paint. So I'm really looking forward to just doing more Batman progress. So I'll show off Mr. Freeze over and over again because I just I can't stress it enough. Mr. Freeze is just so much fun. Because I think it's just my fanboyisms. I love playing Mr. Freeze because he's my favourite Arkhamite. Always will be. Any tournament, I go with Mr. Freeze because it's Mr. Freeze. Hat is my close second and Scarecrow's my third. I would like to show more Scarecrow once I've painted up those damn militia. And more Wonderland because Hat is just fantastic. Hat is fun. And I love Hatter because whilst Freeze is my personal favourite and so much fun to play, he doesn't have nearly the amount of variety that Hatter does now in organised crime. Hatter is just so much fun to play with, so much more variety to play around with, from having Harley Quinn as the new White Rabbit or the new Mad March Hare, and you got the Queen of Hearts Royal Guard for the LexCorp Troopers. I'm going to have Nen from the Two-Face gang soon with a shield and maul because he looks fun. Oh, just so much fun to play around with. And I'll hopefully do so much more with Batman now because I really want to push Batman again on this channel because it's just such a fun game. It fills my needs for my competitive side. It fills my needs for Batman. It fills my needs for Mr. Freeze. It fills my needs as a game as a whole because the mechanics are so fun. For balance, it fills my needs as well. It's just so balanced. You know, there's not one list to rule them all like there is in 40k because there's that many traits that just counter so many things as well. It's not necessarily, oh, there's a bad matchup in one game because there's so much to adapt around. Your gang and your specific list will have its strengths and weaknesses, and unlike 40k, it's very hard to minimise that in list creation. You need to adapt around it. As I feel as a semi-competitive player at least, that's what you should be doing, rather than just eliminating all probability of any mishaps or anything. You have to adapt around it, and that's for both sides. It's not a one-sided thing where one gang gets less than the other or one list gets less than the other. It's a case of, right, you've got your strengths, play to them, and you are forced to adapt to your weaknesses, no matter if you're Batman, if you're Commissioner Gordon, if you're Joker, if you're Two-Face, if you're Hatter, if you're Freeze, if you're Crane, if you're Green Arrow, if you're Constantine, if you're Roman Falcone, you know. Oh, it's just so much of a fun game. Every time I play it, my instincts kick in and I flare up. I'm in Gotham. I'm being super serious. No other game, to me personally, no other game is as immersive as this game. Even when I'm playing competitive, full-on tournament mode, I'm still seeing the game. I'm still seeing the background. I'm seeing Hatter hypnotise people. I'm seeing Grodd go around hypnotising people. I'm seeing freeze things. I'm seeing Batman come in with a backclaw and beat my goons up like that. It's still, even at a top tier competitive game between two players, I still see that immersion. If a game does that, you know you have a good system. You know you have an excellent system, and that's what this game provides to me. I don't see little hiccups here and there, unless it's just for a fun game and we're all, like, you know, playing parody Batman where it's just meant to be a bit fun, you know what I mean, where we just poke fun at each other. But when you want to play serious, or you want to play like you want to play, as though you mean it like an Arkhamite or a Gothamite, the game is just so immersive. You know, you can see Harley Quinn bonk Commissioner Gordon in the face, and he goes flying in one direction. You know, it's so good for that. It fills my needs as a gamer. This is the perfect system for me. This is the system I enjoy. This is my system, essentially, you know. So there is one thing I want to go for before we Sorry, there is one thing I want to talk about before we leave, and that is the Spider-Man miniatures game. Okay, so why am I talking about Spider-Man miniatures game, and why am I talking about, or why am I showing Marvel miniatures like the X-Men in a Batman miniatures game or Spider-Man miniatures game? Well, obviously, as we all know, unfortunately, Light's models did lose the license to Marvel. That's a fact. It hurts. It still pains me that Spider-Man miniatures game wasn't properly investigated or invested into. Because of that, I remember the day they announced they lost the license, I thought this was an opportunity to make something great. So I created the Hell's Kitchen miniatures game forum as a Facebook group for Spider-Man. And essentially, like many other Games Workshop specialist games from Games Workshop, like More Time and stuff, I wanted to keep this game alive. I wanted to keep this game flowing. So what I did was, I made cards. A lot of people make cards, but we all came to, the idea of Hell's Kitchen was to make a standardised sort of expansion to Batman. It's the same game as the Batman Miniatures game. It runs off the same rules, so it runs off the same engine. But what it is you've got new gangs, new strategies, new objectives for these new gangs, and essentially it is Spider-Man Miniatures game that can be cross-compatible with Batman. So it's a game that can stand on its own 2 feet using the Batman Miniatures game rulebook as the core rulebook. But it's also a game that can cross-compete with Batman and no force will be broken or overpowered. So the Batman stuff won't be stronger than the Spider-Man stuff and vice versa. So what do we have? How many gangs do I have? So obviously we go through cards. And there are a ton of new gangs that we made for this game. We're also updating all the old cards to fit in line because one of the main issues that Spider-Man had, or the main criticisms that people had with Spider-Man, was that the guys were overcosted in the game, so there were too much points essentially. We tried bringing these things down. A thing I noticed, however, is that we couldn't reduce them by too much. The main issue Spider-Man has, as background goes, is a lot more of his things are superpowered as opposed to Batman. Now, Batman, you've got Two-Face. You do have your powerful characters like Solomon Grundy, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze to an extent. You do have your superpowers. But it's always been a matter of minds. The more superpowered people are more effect-heavy. So, like, Poison Ivy does sprinkling spores and hypnotizes places. Freeze has to freeze things, so he has to roll on dice to see if he gets it off. It's a 1 in 6 chance that he'll freeze people and stuff like that with his freeze gun and stuff like that. Spider-Man, however, you have a lot of characters that are just superpowered just instantly. Venom and the symbiotes and Carnage, they're superpowers. Dr. Octopus with his mechanical appendages are superpowered houses, You've got some guys who are more street-focused, like Kraven. And Kraven's nice and interesting. But then you've got people like Scorpion, who, again, is very superpowered because of the mechanical appendage he has. You've got, not necessarily Mysterio, Sandman, again, I mean, he's a little bit different from Clayface, but again, he's very superpowered, a lot of the stuff, Green Goblin's just a horrible, he's essentially Captain America, he's like a cross between Captain America and the Joker, and that's very hard to balance out. And then you got some people who, there's only one model I haven't attempted to make rules for, and that's Thanos, because you couldn't. If you did, it would literally just be can your gang take down Thanos? We'll leave that for the Marvel Universe miniature game people to figure out. Yeah, so it is the most powerful being in this game is Doctor Doom, because people wanted a Doom gang. And so I made 2 versions of Doom. Doom, where he's essentially like on par with Wonder Woman on horseback, sort of crazy power levels. And then you got another one which is more better balanced, and that's in Doom Artificial Intelligence Doom Bot. So it's a Doom Bot basically a Doom robot that believes he's actually Doctor Doom, and this is an established thing in comics. So that's more a tuned down version. The Doctor Doom that you want to fight against is literally just for, see if you guys can take down Doom, but if you want to play like a proper game and stuff, the artificial Doom bot is going to be your leader, and you'll play roughly the same, just a little bit more fine-tuned, and you can have some more robots and stuff like that, more Doom bots. So yeah. Obviously, we have updated some gangs, as I've mentioned. We are going to update the Goblin Cult, and they're going to be renamed as Oscorp, as well as we have, Spider-Man's gang, but we've renamed it to Marvel Knights. This is just kind of to update it with 2nd edition. So obviously, as you can tell, Batman had like 3 separate good guy gangs, and then they all conglomerated into one, being the Brave and Bold. Spider-Man's no different. Spider-Man has been conglomerated into the Marvel Knights gang in that respect. So you could have, all the good guys. There are differentiations of good guy gangs though still. It's just all the street heavy stuff is all conglomerated into one. There's from what I remember off the top of my head, there are 3 good guy gangs we have made. We've made them. We've made S.H.I.E.L.D., who are your superheroes. So like, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Nick Fury, Agent Coulson, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You've got all them. And the 3rd one is X-Men, as you can see there. You've got Gambit there. Once I've got all my Batman stuff painted, I will paint more Marvel stuff, because I do want to show Spider-Man Miniatures game, especially Hell's Kitchen. Because what makes it different to, say, the Marvel Universe Miniatures game group is that we have standardised cards. So these are cards that I've made or other people have made. They've thrown up on the group. We give the card feedback and a set deadline for that feedback. The person changes, makes the changes if there's a significant of people voicing the same thing about a specific rule. So if they're saying like, there's like 4 to 6 people saying, his attack stat's too high, tune it down by like 2 points or something like that. So he's from attack 6 to attack 3 or attack 4. Then you make that respective change. After the feedback, it gets stamped and sanctioned, and then it goes into an album for sanctioned good guys or bad guys, or Hydra or S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I mean? And then it's there for anyone to use. They can just grab it and just go, right, well, this is my guy, rather than having to shift through 6 variants of the same guy. So you're not going through Spider-Man, Peter Parker made by this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. Because one of the things I noticed, especially around from reading on the internet, is that people who are into the DC Miniatures game are very, very now hesitant to try out the Marvel stuff, because there's a lot of variety of the same variant, and people have that anxiety that people aren't going to pick what reflects that character the most. So say we're going off Spider-Man, they won't pick the one that reflects Spider-Man the most, they'll just pick the one that looks the most broken. So that's why I wanted a standardisation of cards, because I didn't want people to feel that for Batman. Now obviously we've got Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's great, and we've got the sanctioned stuff. A lot of things done. We've expanded so much. We have Ghost Rider and stuff like that. We have the X-Men. We have students for the X-Men as well, so that you can make up your own super mutants and stuff. We have the Brotherhood of Mutants as well, to play the bipolar opposite of them. We have new gangs like the Symbiotes, the Hydra. Hydra's going to be a fun one. I've got Red Skull as well. I've got Crossbones as well, and the Winter Soldier. So I'm looking forward to throwing down some Hydra. Hail Hydra. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So again, a lot of Spider-Man Miniatures game content to throw up as well. And I'm looking forward to throwing up some Spider-Man against Batman, because I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to throwing down my Doc Ock gang, my Dr. Octopus gang, with Doc Ock, a load of Octobots, fighting down Joker, or taking down Scarecrow, or even going up against the Arrow himself. Just crossovers like that, that's what fuels me. It's just so much fun to just think about. Having Green Arrow shoot down his arrows at Dr. Octo Octavius, and him just pinging them off with his mechanical appendages and stuff like that. It just sounds so much fun. But yeah, it's a good system, and I'm hoping to do a lot of Spider-Man Miniatures game or Hell's Kitchen content, so that we'll have Spider-Man Miniatures game battle reports as well as crossover Batman as well as Batman Miniatures game battle reports. Right now I'm sitting on so many gangs. I've got Doc Ock, X-Men, Marvel Knights, I've said X-Men, Hydra, so yeah, Hydra, X-Men, Marvel Knights, Shield, Doc Ock as well. I'm getting a Mysterio in for him as well. So it'll be Mysterio, Doc Ock, and a load of Octobots. That'll be fun to see. And probably if you like Island inmates and stuff like that. Technically symbiotes. I'm waiting for a Carnage to come out to get Carnage. I'm hoping for War Machine as well. So yeah, we've got plenty of stuff to come out. I'm also getting Daredevil as well. I've paid for it. I just got to wait for my friend to deliver it to us. But I am getting Daredevil, so I can do Daredevil with Punisher matchups against, say, Joker's gang. Because let's be honest, Daredevil and the Punisher with a few cops against the Joker and Harley Quinn, that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to having a few of them. I also have friends really picked up as well, because the scene really picked up, but I also have my friend Phil from the Dark Arts Sun, also starting Batman Miniatures game with the Riddler and Black Manta. So he's got Riddler, he's got a load of Riddler bots, he also has the Carmine Falcone set, so he wants to do organised crime with the Roman himself. That'll be fun. Having the Punisher take on the Kingpin of Gotham. Eh? Like I say, I'm really, really excited about throwing down a lot of this new stuff to you guys, because I think it's going to be fun to watch. You're going to see Spider-Man launching webs at Batman, and Batman just going, yeah, Batcape. So this is going to be a very fun game, I think. It's going to be very fun to see how everything progresses as well. So I want to say thank you for watching. If you liked what you see and you want to see more Spider-Man and Batman Miniatures game content, then please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button. If there's anything you want to talk about, both Spider-Man and Batman, please hit the comment section below. I look forward to hearing what you think. Pardon me. I'm looking forward just to pour out so much content for these games. So much. If you like what you see and you want to get your friends hyped about this game or either Batman or Spider-Man, then please share this video out there. The more the better, the more the merrier. The more people that this video reaches, the better. So thank you for sharing. So I just want to say thanks for watching. This is the Whoop Forge signing out, and remember, there we go, keep on forging.